Hey, and welcome back to yet another episode of Braid Talk Tuesday. If you're new, my name is Neek, and I am so happy to be here today. We have such a wonderful episode going on today. I'm super excited about it because today we are going to talk about client red flags. I think that we all have red flags with our clients, and sometimes we need to just talk about it because there are times that we actually ignore these red flags. And I am still guilty. Even after all these years, I am still guilty of this. So while I am waiting for you guys to come on, when you watch this back, or if you catch this part while you're just joining on, I want you to tell me what kind of braider are you right now? Okay. Are you a full-time braider? Are you just part-time? Are you just getting started? Are you thinking about it? I would love to know who's in the room so I know exactly who we're talking to. Or you could even go ahead and drop in the comments where you are watching the live from. Hey, Marie, I see that you're already here. So wonderful. And then today we also have a guest, and I am super excited about that. So let's go ahead and jump right into our topic. Again, if you're just hopping on, the topic today is client red flags. Okay. I want you to drop in the comments client red flags. Okay. Because they absolutely exist. We all have them. I'm going to tell you a quick story, super quick story of actually something that just happened to me, like literally, literally like last week. Okay. So I want you to know that just because I'm the one who's talking about these topics doesn't mean that I still don't encounter things, right? So let me take you back to last weekend, Saturday. Um, Typically, if you are a full time braider, Saturday could be a super busy day. And I just so happen to have some space available in my Saturday. And so I got this phone call, and now everybody knows for the most part, and I think most of us can relate, it's typically first come, first serve when it comes to my bookings. Okay. I'm not blocking the calendar for anything, I'm not holding anything. It's like whatever's there, first come, first serve. So I had a little extra space on the calendar, and I got this phone call. And first thing was, I don't have any money on my card right now to make the deposit, right? Should have been red flag number one. But I digress. I don't have any money on my card right now to make the deposit, but I really do want this, Saturday morning spot. So I said, okay, all right, let me go ahead. I'm thinking that I'm, doing this person a favor and everything like that. Again, I'm not upset or anything, but thinking I'm doing them a favor. So I go ahead and I block that time for that Saturday morning appointment. So, they go ahead, they book the appointment. Great. Everything's fine. Okay. It worked out perfectly. It felt like, you know what? This was worth bending my policy for, right? At the moment. So then the Saturday comes, the person that, that they were booking this appointment for, they're there. But when I pull up, they're literally still taking out their hair. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but do y'all offer like a takedown service prior to you doing this style? If you do, and if I'm just tripping, y'all could just let me know. Maybe I'm doing the most, but I don't offer that without knowing. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. I don't offer that service without knowing. I do have a takedown service, but you have to book that, right? And so, long story short, their hair, wasn't even out. They were looking for it to be washed and everything else, and I'm just like, mm, this is not going to work because right now my policies are not being honored, right? And so I got the, you know, famous question or infamous question, if you will you do it if I pay you an extra $100? Now I want to know how how many of you would have taken that extra $100? Because I'm not going to lie, I was tempted to. At first, I was tempted, right? But I had to politely, right? I had to politely express that That's not the point, right? It's not that you will pay me extra $100. It's that you're not respecting my policies. You didn't take the time to familiarize yourself with everything that's out there and available to you, right? And so thankfully, everything went smooth, went well, and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I didn't do that client's hair. And by the time, if I would have accepted, now let me just explain this real quick. Had I accepted the money, this could have been a well over $200 style, right? And it's not that I didn't need $200, right? But I heard I heard a saying that one of my friends used, and they said, "I'm greedy, I'm not needy." Right? And so, in that moment, that's what it kind of felt like, because it's like, you know, as much as I would have wanted the money and I would have wanted to offer this service, and that extra $100 could have helped me just like it could have helped the rest of us, right? But at the end of the day, it was about principle for me. And in that moment, I had to stand on that. And so, again, just because we've been doing this for a long time, it doesn't mean that we don't run into red flags. So I would love to go ahead and begin. Well, first, before I do that, let's see. Right. Not without knowing. Yes, I would have if time permitted. Okay. That's a big if. I see your big if time would have permitted. But then I would have rules set, and I'm a person of integrity and following my own rules. Then I can't. Yeah. So I'm going to bring Key up, and then I'm going to ask Key what she would have done. So let's go ahead. Um, let's go ahead. So we went through that. So this is a portion I just like to call pass the mic. And so I'm going to go ahead and add Key through that. So this is a portion I just like to call pass. Okay, let's see. Oops. Let's see if I can add you to the stage, Key. Hold on. I see you here. Now let me go. All right, hang on. And let me see. Can you hear me, Key?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on. I might have to hang on. I might have to put these on. I'm not sure. All right, Key, can you say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on. I still can't hear you.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. I could hear you now, but I feel like I'm getting a little feedback.
Hold on.
All right, let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
I
Okay.
think because I had my phone close to the iPad, so it was kind of like laying
Got
on.
it. I thought it was on my side. Okay, no worries. So, first of all, Key, thank you so much for coming on, because I know this was like so last minute.
Yes.
But you know how we roll, okay? We just roll with it, okay? I was just explaining the story of how the client came, they weren't prepared, they offered extra money, and I still declined it because, I wanted to stand on my policy. It wasn't so much of a time issue. I mean, I did have other clients. I probably could have squeezed it and made it work, but that was not the point. It was just that I wanted my policies to be respected. So I have to ask you, what would you have done in that situation?
I probably would have done the same thing. I just feel like that's disrespectful of my time.
Yes.
It's like, why would you come here with braids still in your hair? Why would you automatically expect that if you throw money at me, I would just wash your hair?
Yes.
That's not what you book.
That part.
It's
That part. Yeah, I was definitely like, I just felt like so caught off guard. And I think here's the thing, like, just because we've braided for a long time, it doesn't mean that we're not humans, right? We
right.
still get nervous. We still sometimes don't know what to do. Situations might present themselves, and you're like, oh man, like, I haven't encountered this in a while. And I feel like for me, in my 8 years, when I pulled up, and because like I was running, like I was in that like 5 minute, like it was like 10:04, and I was just pulling up, and I was like, oh man. But
Mhm.
when I pulled up and I saw them outside just like still unraveling their hair, I was like,
Mm.
oh man, right?
She's lucky you didn't just cancel the appointment all the way around and as soon as she walked in. Like this that's just inconsiderate.
Yeah,
I've
and I
never
did. I didn't
seen.
take it. Like, I didn't take the appointment at all,
Okay.
and so, I felt bad, but it was like, because this was a new person, like,
Mhm.
the person that requested it wasn't new to me, but it was a new person that was coming, and with all due respect, I knew that if I let this be the standard and the stage that was set, I
Yep.
have been braiding long enough to know that how you start a thing is how it will continue, and
Yes.
you ain't just gonna magically get people to kinda roll with you, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
I knew I had to set that bar and that, prayerfully, if they did decide to book with me again,
Right.
it
They
would
will
be
book
one of those
properly.
things where it's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
like, she don't play." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In the most respectful way. And then
Yeah.
the other thing that I got was, 'cause, like, I'm in the tri-state, so, like, I'm near, like, New York, New Jersey, that area, and, one of the things was, "Well, in New York, XYZ, they did this or they did that," but it's like, "But we're not in New York." And not
Right.
every braider is the same, like, they might have offered that, but that's not what comes with my offer. So, like, Key, how do you think we settle in? Like, how do we settle in with our policy and stand on it?
It's hard. Look, it's hard. It's hard for me. My
Mhm.
husband tell me all the time, "Hey, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have taken that client. You should have done this." And I'm like, "I know, but I was just trying to help." And every time I help,
Yes.
I get burned. Every time.
That part.
Every time I do a little bit extra, or I go above and beyond, or I take a client just out the blue, I let them change the style. It's always a catastrophe.
A problem. Like, it's like it all falls down. And that's why I wanted to use this as an example, and it's like, it's no shade to that whole scenario, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I bent the rules.
Mhm.
I blocked my calendar. I never block my okay, like, when I say I never block my calendar, like, what is there is there. I try to
Mhm.
stand on that because it's an absolute fairness to who can get in my chair.
Right.
So, for me to go and block that time so that no one can book it, to give you the courtesy of being able to go put money on your card to book the deposit.
That part right there. When she
And
said she didn't have the deposit, wait a minute. I had one like that too. And not to interrupt you. She sent me messages and we talked for about an hour. And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna send, I don't have the deposit. Can I send it to you tomorrow?" Well, you don't have an appointment until you send me the deposit tomorrow. There's no way. And I've done it before.
Mm,
And then that client didn't even show up.
yeah.
So I had to stand on that policy. You're not getting on my books until the deposit is sent.
I mean, it
Period.
is, and that's it, like, period. Because now, here it is. And don't get me wrong, like, I know I have learned, I'll put it this way. I've learned how to make the best use of my time when these things happen. So it's
Mhm.
never a loss for me at the end of the day, or I don't look at it as a loss.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it can be considered a loss because the style that he was gonna get was at least $150. If I would have taken the extra $100, which, mind you, really wasn't that much of a favor because my takedown service with the wash and all that stuff is more than $100, so technically
Mhm.
you weren't doing me any favors, but at the end of the day, that was like 200 and maybe 25 or whatever dollars that I could have had,
Yes.
so, like, I walked away with nothing but the deposit,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, I don't know. But Key, what are some other client red flags that
Oh,
you find?
it's so many. It's so many. One of my biggest thing is those cheap clients. They want to see what you can do for this, and then they ask you, oh, because I'm still working on. We doing my website
Yes,
currently.
we are, and it's getting done, ma'am.
We are
I'm just
building it, so I won't have to answer all these questions. Okay, but
yes, ma'am.
when I get these messages about, okay, how much you charge for this? And I tell you how much I charge for that. And then you ask me again, okay, well, how much is a medium knowledge? Okay, here's the price for the medium knowledge. Okay,
Yeah.
well, how much if I bring my own hair? Ma'am, no, no. We're not going to penny and pinch the situation. It's either you're going to book and you're going to pay the price, or I did that one time before, and I
Yeah.
let a client bring her own hair. She assumed that was going to be $50 off. Ma'am, the hair is only $3.99, $4.99
Hello.
at the time. You what?
Key. Wait, don't make me laugh.
Crazy. The audacity. No.
Oh my Key, I feel like this is a whole post, okay? Like, I feel like this is a whole post. I feel like I can make a carousel post out of this because seriously, these are the things, and not that like, we're laughing at it as like braid humor, not to laugh at like the clients because they don't, they don't understand from the business side. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So it's not that, but it's like braider to braider. It's just such a relatable thing because it's like you said, ma'am, this hair costs $3.99. Like, stop. You brought 2 packs. We're not taking $50 off of this style
You want a whole
because you
fifty
brought 2
dollars off
packs
the
of
sale.
hair.
It's crazy. I've had one client want to book a takedown in an install at the same time, but she wanted me to not charge her for the takedown. What?
Oh, man.
Well, but then she said, "Well, what if I only pay you $80 for the takedown?" Listen, you're not gonna penny pinch the knotless braids. You just take the
Ooh,
braids down yourself, and then you could just pay me
right.
full price for the knotless braids. It's
Right.
really
Because this
simple.
is not The Price is Right.
Just
You
just
know what I
make a
mean? Like,
deal.
this is not let's
No,
make a deal or none of that. Like, we're not
yeah,
gonna roll the dice and see how much it's gonna cost. Like, no, baby, we are operating on systems. And
yes,
that's one of the things that I love that we did during our coaching because, like, your prices are calculated.
yes, they
They're
are.
not guessed. And I know that for a fact because we worked on them together. But I'm saying, like, they're not guessed. Your time is
Mhm.
being taken into consideration. What you're offering is being taken into consideration. The style itself is being taken into consideration. Like all the components that go into what it takes for us to create what I believe like ethical pricing, I would call it.
Mhm.
You've done that. So it's not like, oh, well, can I this or can I? No, no, no.
Right.
So I mean, I
They do
don't
it.
know.
Though. They do it. That's just it's a lot. It's so many red flags that I can come up with. It's just like you can't get a takedown and knotless. If you can't afford the takedown and the knotless braid
Right,
installation, take down your own hair. And then
right.
you just come to me and get the knotless braid, but you can't get a discount on both
No,
services.
no, not unless you're offering like a combo service, like, where maybe, okay, well, if you're getting this combined, then maybe you get like, but even that, I feel like sometimes even that gets or can get tricky. It's
Yeah.
not something that we have to completely stay away from. We just have to figure out ways that make it work for what we
Well,
are willing to do, you know?
right, right. I mean, you don't have to book a takedown. A takedown is a service that's a luxury service, right? It's something that, hey, I don't want to do it. It's an inconvenience for me to
Absolutely.
do it. So it'd be
Absolutely.
convenient for me to pay you to do it, right? So, hey, you either want to pay for the convenience of getting a takedown or you don't. You can simply to do it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just depends on what is valued. Like,
Yeah.
we all pay for the things that we value. I always use Starbucks as an example, right? I've become a Starbucks girly. I know exactly who to blame, okay, for it because I was never into Starbucks or anything like that, but,
Mhm.
my good friends down in Atlanta, they drink Starbucks, and I just thought I could do it too. Whatever, I digress. So, I drink Starbucks, okay? I might get Starbucks 3, 4 times a week, but let me see a shirt that's $15 and I'm like, "Mm-mm,
Mhm.
nope, I'm not buying it." Like, so it just goes to show that we will spend where we find it valuable or that soothes us. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
at
And
the end of the day, if you
yeah,
want it, you will pay for it because where they might try to skim us somewhere, they might be willing to spend it somewhere else. Like
yeah.
I've seen people who won't pay, 2, $50 for knotless, but yet we'll walk around in an Hermes belt.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's all choice. You know what I mean? Like, I can't shade you. Hey, if that's what you find valuable, then fine. That's fine.
That's my whole point. It's like if you don't see value in that service to
Yes.
pay for that service, do not try to book that service and get me to discount you for the service.
Yeah.
How am I winning from that? Like, how
Right.
is that helping me in my business? It's not, because I can have another client while I'm doing your takedown for a discount. I can be doing a full price client at that
Right.
time.
Right. And how about you're going to have those clients that, and I've had this happen to me where, you know, one client or one person, because typically they're not even my client, but one person might feel you charge that much for this,
Oh
while
my God.
another client might say, oh, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's all perspective.
It's all on if you see the value. Hold on. The
Yep.
husband trying to call me.
Yep.
You have to see the value in that person's services. And that's why I say cheap clients. And I mean, it's not wrong being cheap because, hey, I'm cheap. I'm
Yeah. Me
yeah.
too.
The Dollar
Me-
Tree is my best friend until they went
Hello.
to $1.50. And I got to go in and be like, why is this stuff $1.50? Like,
No, Key, did you see that post where it was like, y'all are over here tripping over the gas prices and I'm still tripping that Dollar Tree is now $1.25 tree?
yes, I felt that.
I was like, I feel seen.
I feel seen. I love a good deal. But at the same time, I'm not going to go to anybody's establishment and tell them that, hey,
That
you,
part.
you charge too much. I like your work, but your prices are too high.
Yeah.
Well, you can find some, just like if I want to go to Macy's or Dillard's, or I'm going to go to Walmart and shop, or I'm going to go to
Yeah.
Goodwill and get a deal. You know, there's options out here. Okay.
Exactly. So Key, what would you say to the person that's just getting started, who is maybe afraid to, let's say maybe they're afraid to lose clients by being too strict? What advice would you give them?
Hey, I'm giving myself this same advice. Stand your ground.
I'm gonna
Know
write
your
that.
value, know your work, practice your work now. Hey, like we said before, charge your work, but you have to be worth it, right?
How they do it? I don't even know how to do it. Clock it. Okay.
You have to be worth it, but stand your ground, because these clients will try to undervalue you. They will try to tell you that's not worth it. The person down the street charged $50 less. Well, let them go book with the person down the street.
That
Because
part.
here's the thing. If I take you and I'm undervaluing myself, and I've done it,
Right.
I've stood there for 8 hours doing a style that I
Mm.
know was worth more than what I charged this person,
Mhm.
when I could have waited for a client that was going to pay me full price for my value.
Amen.
But I took that cheaper client because, hey, I figured, hey, she probably not going to want to come to me anymore. In all honesty, I sad but true, probably don't even want you as a client.
I mean,
There's
there's
options.
that part. There's that
Yeah.
part because when we talk about burnout, and I know that we're talking about client red flags, but it's those type of client red flags that we keep ignoring that causes
Mm,
burnout. That's
yes.
what causes burnout when we're standing braiding because we were braiding out of being, I don't want to say desperate. I'm going to be careful with using that, but
Hmm.
it's like when we undervalued ourselves, we know we undervalued ourselves. And now we're sitting here with this client, like you said, for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it is, knowing that we just did this service and really should have charged more. And then when
Yeah.
you do that over and over and over again, well, anything that you do with repetition, you begin to feel the weight of it, good or bad.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so now you've been doing this for months. You still can't meet your bills. You still can't this. You still can't that. You missing stuff with your kids. You feeling all over the place and you don't even feel like it's worth it because you didn't put yourself at a place where you could actually charge what would make it feel worth it for you. But
Yeah.
again, it's not one-sided. That is, if there's anything that I've ever wanted anybody to take from Braid Talk Tuesday, it'll be what our girl Lisa said, because that thing stuck with me. charge your worth, but be worth it.
I
Like, I
remember
feel
that.
like that
I
sums
remember,
up.
I remember that live. Like, I mean, I really feel like these Braid Talk Tuesdays, on top of our meetings and our separate
Mhm.
situations, have truly grown me and my business like tremendously. I tell you that all the time. I text you this. I
I
inbox you this morning that
You told me
because it was
today.
on
I
my heart.
know.
It really has truly blessed me in my business. I didn't see business and braiding as a business before I really started to dibble and dabble and really learn more that, hey, this really truly can be a business, right? This can truly grow into something substantial. And I'm still growing.
I
That's why I
know.
feel so passionate about the letting clients play with your time and your money, because I have currently been dealing with that. I have
Yeah.
currently still been fighting that fight internally, standing on business
Yes.
and
Yes.
meaning and knowing my work, not letting other people downplay my skills.
Period.
Clients pay for what they want to pay for. If you want it, you'll pay for it. If they
Yep.
like your style, they'll pay for it. And that's what I'm learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to and Keith, thank you. I can't talk too much about it because you know I'm a baby. So I can't. Yeah, because y'all be having me on these lives crying and carrying on. And I can't do it. I can't. But when it comes to our clients, I feel like as braiders, most of us have, I don't want to say a sliding scale, but I think that most of us have something where we could kind of meet people. Like for me, if you can't afford a full set of knotless, then maybe you might just have to choose a different style. I could still
Mhm.
do your hair, but maybe you might have to choose one of my stitch braid styles, or maybe you might have to choose two flat
Yeah.
braids, or you know what I mean? Or maybe you might just have to put a little bit to the side for this month and put a little bit to the side this month. And you know what I mean? And then be able to get that style that you want. But at the end of the day, I feel like we do try to meet people, where they are. But like you said, Key, this is a business. This
Mm-hmm.
is how,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're full time like we are,
Mm-hmm.
see, it's different with if you are working part time, or maybe you have a full time job and maybe you're just braiding on a Saturday. But when I say that every need in my life, every bill, everything,
Yeah.
it relies on me treating this as a business. I can't approach this as, a little plaything, because when my mortgage is due, they're not going to treat like they going to
Mm-mm.
carry out their business. I got to make sure I carry out mine.
Your stuff gonna be on the side of the curve.
Like when the light bill comes, I can't be like, "Oh, well, I was out here trying to do I was out here trying to do a deal." Like, no. They're not gonna
Yeah.
it's not gonna
We
work.
we all want our clients. We want to grow our clientele, but we cannot diminish ourselves for
Yes,
it.
that part, that
We
part.
really can do
And the
that.
better we show up for them, it's like the better value that they get and
Mm-hmm.
they can see. And what changed my mind about that is a post I made the other day, but it was a true story, that when my client said to me, when she asked me, she said, "You increased your prices right in the chair." And I'm like,
Mm.
"Uh-oh." I got so nervous. I'm like, literally, I'm about to like lay out this whole like thing of, well, yes, my bills are this, and it's been 3 years, and I was about to go through this whole, thing. And before I could, she just said, "I'm proud of you."
Oh.
I said, "What? Girl, what?" She was like, "Yeah, it's about time." I'm like, "Okay." So, what I got from that is that your real clients, your true clients, the people who are really supporting you, they will not punish you for
Mm-mm.
doing what you have to do. They'll actually celebrate you, and they still will support and keep going because they're happy to actually see your growth. And they
Yeah.
know that you're not going down in value. You know what I'm saying? Your work's not like, Key, I've watched your work. Just in the past year, I feel like level up is an understatement. Like I look at your not list every day and I'm going, look at it's right before my eyes. Like, and I just love to see it happen because I'm like, it just goes to show that us as braiders, we're not comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when we know what we're doing, it's like, nope, level up, nope, level
I
up, nope, level up.
I thank you. Thank you so much for that. I don't see it. I
Oh,
still do
girl.
not see it. I am my worst critic, but
Yeah, we do
that's a
that.
good thing. It's a good
Yes,
thing because it makes me want to level up. It makes me want to keep pushing, keep
yes.
learning, keep striving to be better. So I don't see it. My husband said the same thing. You're just so
Oh,
hard on
no,
yourself. You
Key,
don't
you
even
gotta
see
step
your
back.
growth.
You gotta step back. I promise you, I'm the same way. I am the same way. It took me years to realize, like, whoa, wait a minute. Like,
Hmm.
yo, you're killing it. And it's okay to admit that. And it took me a long time to be able to say that because when you try to be humble and you try to, you don't want to sound arrogant and you don't want to, and especially when you fear God, it's like, I'm not trying to, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Okay.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I always try to like keep myself like lowly, but I'm learning that it's okay to acknowledge, you know what, God, you actually gave this to me. And I'm so grateful to see this thing actually progress. I'm grateful to see the work of my hands actually, improve. And so when I look
Mhm.
back, it's like, wow, but you have to take the step back. Key,
Right.
go back. This is my challenge to you. And then I'm gonna let you go. I know you got to get your kids off. My challenge to you is to go back to your knotless braids from 1 year ago.
Hmm.
If you got to go back a year and a half, go back a year and a half. And I want you to look at something you've done recently and go back a year ago and hold them two next to each other. You are going to see, but you got to take the time to do it. You got to because you're in the moment. You're
Yeah.
in the moment from the next to the next to the next, and you don't really get to capture what has actually transpired. But trust
Hmm.
me when I tell you, baby, it's movement around you. And you're doing it. And I'm so proud of you. I mean that literally
Thank
from the bottom
you.
of my heart. I am so proud of you. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate you just being ready, girl. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I got you. I got you. I am with you. Look, I'm very grateful for you.
I got
Thank you.
you.
You're doing an amazing job.
You're welcome. I love you. And I'll talk to you later because we got to get our last thing done. Okay.
Okay. All right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye, Key. All right, guys. So I almost got a little bit emotional, y'all, because it's personal. When you're building a business, is very personal. You're dealing with people, especially in our industry, right? We're in the service industry, so there's that. We're dealing with people, and when you get into these coaching spaces, you're not only are you trying to elevate, but you're seeing the elevation of your students that become friends, and like now you're kind of just growing together, and that is what I love about being a coach who cares, okay? Being a coach who actually really cares. So let me get over to this comment section. I started to pull some up before. Um, so let me see, because I want to make sure that we get you guys here. Stand your ground, know your value, practice your work, charge your worth. Baby, that's a post right there. That's a post right there. A little single post, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. There you go. Let's see. There will always be someone doing it cheaper, and that person is not you. Clock it, okay? Period. I love that. Love that. Yes, amen. Can't approach this as a plaything. Not at all. Not at all. Not if it just you have to know what you're looking for out of this thing, right? That's one of the things that I had to learn. You got to know, what are you looking for out of building this braid business? Are you looking to be full time? Are you looking to just do this on the weekend? Is it, you got to really be able to assess what it is that you are wanting out of it, because that's going to determine what you pour into it, right? So, absolutely. The mental TED talk. Seriously. No, for real. Oh, everybody should love Neek the braider. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, let's talk about some more. Let's talk about some more red flags. And Key did such a wonderful job sharing some of the red flags. But I want to let you know this. If you are not sure, if you don't have a lot of experience with dealing with different people and different personalities and different type of clients, I want you to understand this. Every time that you ignore a red flag, you teach your business to tolerate chaos. right? And I gave an example in the beginning of this live that it happens to the best of us. Like, and maybe there's some braiders out there who are perfect and who never get it wrong and XYZ, but I'm not her, you know. I am also a very heart-led person. And so, that wanting to help, that wanting to, you know, be there and all of those things, it's like, yeah, I'm very, very guilty of that too. So even in 8 years in, I still had to learn a very, very important lesson. And that when we have a red flag, when we see a red flag, when we feel right, because how many know, like, as a braider, you have to learn intuition. You have to have intuition. And so just wanted to talk a little bit about some red flags. Mine happened to be, hey, I don't have the money on my card to book the deposit right now, Like I said, it halfway panned out. I did them a favor. They booked the appointment, that part was okay, but it was still a red flag that led into a deeper red flag, right? Cuz like, let's just be honest, like, red flags don't just kind of like start turning like to shades of orange and yellow. Like, they don't really change their colors. Like, a red flag is a red flag is a red flag. So if you are noticing, and I want you to drop in the comments, what are some red flags that you have experienced with your clients? Um, and before I even get ahead of myself, another thing is that we also, as professionals, can display red flags, but we're going to get into that next week. Okay. So we're going to kind of flip this on its head next week and talk about some professional red flags and things like that. But I want you to drop in the comments, like, what are some of the client red flags that you've experienced? What do you consider a red flag, right? Because what I consider a red flag might not be anything to you. Like, it might be a normal thing for you, right? So I would love for you to comment, what do you consider to be a client red flag? Is it deposits? Is it around deposits? Is it maybe not respecting your schedule? Like, have you ever had a client that, like, constantly, let's talk about it. Cuz I've had people like this where it's like, I've put my calendar out. And if you could relate to this, go ahead and drop a number 1 in the comments. But I put my calendar out the 20th of every single month. And when I say, like, the 20th, I mean the 20th, okay? It doesn't change. It hasn't changed in the last 8 years. But for whatever reason, that person doesn't necessarily book their appointment when my calendar comes out. And so it's like they wait until maybe 2 weeks have gone by. Now they're kind of looking to be like squeezed in somewhere, and I'm trying to make way, and I'm coming in on my day off, and I'm this and that. And it's like, that's a red flag, right? So I want to know, and let's see, Zane, you said lateness. Okay. Yes, that's again not respecting the schedule, right? Or not respecting your policies. So, lateness, the moment I became serious about my late fees, they keep to the time. Can I just be honest? I think every one of my policies was created by a person who presented a red flag. And I was like, you know what? I didn't like how that appointment went. I need to put this in place, right? So, for example, if your clients are late, and it's starting to affect your day and the flow and the this and the that, well, guess what? When you put in a late fee, it gives incentive to be on time, right? Um, what would another one be? Um, the deposit, right? The deposit. If you are getting no shows, ooh, this is a good one. I'm gonna get right to that. If you are getting no shows and you don't have a deposit in place, well, if you begin to start putting a deposit in place, that is keyword non-refundable. Well, people might, once they've made that investment to keep to booking that appointment, yeah, they more than likely they show up for it, right? Here's another one: clients not following up with aftercare and then blaming me when things go bad. Right. Okay. So, Zane, like one of the things that Key that was just on, one of the things that Key does is that she actually has like aftercare tips. And so she like has it to where those aftercare tips are going to be sent like automatically through her site after they book their appointment, right? Because again, once things happen, it prompts us to, you know, improve, right? It causes us to improve our policy in the way that we go about it. So yeah, I love that. Love that. Let's see. So yeah, clients not following up with aftercare. Yeah, that's a great one. I didn't even think about aftercare. I didn't even think about aftercare. Let's see. Oh, now that's happened to me, aftercare, but then I also take the blame. Yeah, so and that's the thing, but we also as the provider have to, we have to be honest with ourselves too, because sometimes it's like, we also know. We know when, oh, I could have fixed that, or oh, this is probably gonna um maybe you didn't gel that part of that area good, and you're like, oh, this is probably going to frizz up or first or whatever. So it's like we also have to be like honest with ourselves too. But aftercare is really important. And Zane, you really brought up an amazing point. I'm still here. Okay, perfect, perfect. So yeah, we're just talking about aftercare. That's another one. Even the like constant rescheduling, like that's another one we want to like look out for, because again, it just goes back to like not respecting our time, right? But my thing is that people that present these red flags, it's and I want to just like really put this in here, because the key for tonight was, yes, we're talking about red flags, but we're talking about the red flags that we ignore, right? That's the thing, the red flags that we ignore, because we don't often realize what it will cost us. A lot of times, ignoring those red flags, they cost us, as Key and I talked about earlier, they cost us that feeling, just being burnt out, right? So they cause us burnout. It can cost us peace of mind, right? Like feeling just overtired, feeling like we're not doing enough, feeling just like all these things, when if we would really get our policy in order, that would also help us too. So we have to do things that put our business in a good place. If we don't have things in place, then it's like we can't be mad at people for breaking rules that they didn't even know existed. So there's that part of it too. Absolutely, that part of it too. So let's see, Prophetess Marie. Right. It was crochet braids that I secured differently from the other times I've done her hair before, and she struggled taking them down, and then cut her hair and decided to text me about it. Let's see, I would have gladly helped her to take it down, but she ended up cutting her hair and blaming me. Oh, man. See, and these are the things, guys, like as us being braiders, there's so many things that we just cannot anticipate, right? We just you don't know, right? Like you could use a gel that, didn't maybe like sit right with their hair. You can do a different crochet method, like you said. I mean, there's so many things, but I think that when it comes to these things happening, it's like we have to view it as a lesson learned, but not just a lesson learned. What are we willing to do to kind of help ensure that we don't find ourselves in that same situation? You know what I mean? So it's like, Marie, I'm glad that I'm not happy that she cut her hair, but I'm glad that you experienced this, because now, you know, you might be able to put a clause somewhere that says, you know, here are some takedown tips, right? Or, if you are unsure about taking them out, please feel free to book my takedown service, or, just something like that. We are able to facilitate, to some degree, how these things kind of play out. So Very good. Let's see. Price haggling. I'm not selling pepper in the neighborhood. I'm not selling pepper in the neighborhood for real. No, we talked about that earlier as well. Like this is not make a deal. This is not let's make a deal. Our prices are set. And if anybody that is watching this, if you need help setting up these policies, if you need help setting up this pricing and things like that, and actually making pricing that's not just built off of guessing, but actually has like a formula to it and tiers and all that, like please feel free to reach out to me so that we could get you booked for a strategy call. Oh, let's see. Another one. Rude remarks or comparing me with another braider they see online. Oh, we may do things different and still get the same results. Theirs doesn't make mine any less, and vice versa. Ooh, wait a minute. That is probably one of, if I could just be transparent, that is probably one of my biggest pet peeves, right? Because I know that we see things online. And I don't really get compared to people online, but I think because I live in a small town where others from bigger towns kind of like funnel into, I feel like I get compared to maybe what they do in the bigger cities or what they do, whatever. And I'm like, first of all, a lot of these salons or a lot of the braiders in other cities, a lot of them are working where there's other people working, right? Like I work alone. I work by myself. I no longer have staff. Like I'm just kind of like a one man band. You know what I mean? So it's like the things that I'm able to do and be able to cycle through my clients the way maybe another shop that has a team or whatever might be able to do is way different. And so, when I hear like, oh, well, they do this over here or they do that over here, like, well, this is where you are now, right? And so you've got to decide if what I offer suffices for what you're looking for. You know what I mean? And it's just that it's just that simple. So, yeah, that's a big one. I think that's a red flag too cuz to be honest, I depending on the spirit in which it's coming through, like some people are being rude and I've had that. And then some people are just sharing like, well, this is what they're accustomed to or this is what they're used to, and maybe they're just sharing that with me. So you got to kind of be able to have discernment. Definitely have discernment. Speaking of, um we've been doing the daily bread for braiders um on Instagram series, and I think the scripture that I had used yesterday, it came from James 1 and 5. And it says that if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not. And that basically just means that, he does not, he does not fault you for asking for wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And it shall be given unto him. Right. And so a lot of times we really need to pray for discernment in our personal lives, but even in our business, because there's going to be so many things, especially when you're dealing with people, there's going to be so many things that come up, so many circumstances, so many different personalities, so many different needs, right? And so as a braider, there's these times where we are just learning as we go, and as we go. And so yeah, we have to have discernment and we really do have to ask God for wisdom. Okay? Absolutely. So, let's see. We have a couple minutes. This has been a great episode. I'm so happy that we are just able to come together in this form. I really am. Let's see. Like I got a client last week off TikTok. Okay. All over my stitch braids. It shows me using my parting comb to stitch and still get the results right. Yeah, your stitch braids are amazing. I see them all the time. Very good. Very good. Let's see, when she was asking where. Oh, well, yeah, because a lot of us use like well, my nails look terrible right now, but oh well. I braid with nails. Um, so yeah, a lot of us do. And there's so many variations of that. You have braider nails where it's just like square nails and then just maybe two fingers with this the point, or there's super talented people like you who just use the comb and whatever. So yeah, I could see where maybe somebody could have been like, wait a minute, where's your nail? Where's your nails? That's funny. That's funny. So let's go ahead, guys. I want to, before we get to this, I want to challenge you with something because I want you to know. And let me see, I might have this out of order. Just give me 1 second. Nope. Okay, that's okay. I didn't get that slide in. That's fine. Um, but I have a challenge for you. Okay. And the challenge is that I want you to understand the wrong client will cost you more than no client at all. Okay. And I'm just going to repeat that. The wrong client, okay, will cost you more than no client at all. And so if you've taken nothing else from this live today, I want you to understand that, because when you're bending to these red flags, it's not you just being nice, right? What you're actually doing is you're teaching them how to treat you, right? And so I want you to ask yourself, one, I want you to ask yourself, is your booking process clear enough, right? Like, would a stranger know your non negotiables, right? Like, if they went on your site, would they know? Would they know what you stand on, right? The next thing I want you to do, yes, yes, I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to write down 3 client behaviors that you will never accept, right? Because I want you to know what your non negotiables are. Because if you don't know what your non negotiables are, I promise you, no one else is going to know what your non negotiables are. And as I said earlier, you can't necessarily be upset for a client breaking or bending a rule that they did not know exists, that they did not know even existed. Okay. And once you write down those behaviors, once you write down those 3 client behaviors that you would not accept, then I want you to stick to them, right? If your policy is your policy, then let it be that. It's not to be rude to your clients, it's not to be overly strict. What you're doing is you are creating an atmosphere for order, right? And you're creating something that they know what it is and you know what it is, which then overall creates for a better appointment experience. So, rules, policies, all of that, it's not meant for you to just be rigid and be unapproachable and all of that. No, but what they do is policies, they create peace and they provide parameters that you also can lean on, and that your clients also will be able to lean on, because what you're doing is you're providing them with consistency. Okay. So I want you to know that your piece is not worth the price, okay, of ignoring your own policies. And so I want you to know, and I want you to do those exercises. Does your site actually reflect the boundaries that you want to have in your business? Okay. And after you do that assignment, if the answer is no, if you've looked over your stuff and you're like, you know what? I think a person would be confused if they saw this. Or if you look at your site or you look at your things and you're like, this is not really clear. And you're like, but you really know you need some help on getting it clear, then I want you to reach out to me. I want you to book a strategy call, and we'll sit on that call and we'll work through your policies together, making sure that they are making sense for you and that they can also be well received by your clients to help you build an actual better braid business. So, guys, I thank you so much. Let's see. Let's get that back. I thank you so much, truly, 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 truly. I thank you so much for being here. This has been a wonderful episode of Braid Talk Tuesday. And if you want to get caught up, feel free to go back on my YouTube page. All the episodes are up. So feel free to go, find that episode that you need, get the encouragement that you need, get the community that you need, because that's what Braid Talk Tuesday is here for. I'm so grateful for, my day one A1s that are here with me every single week. So Zane and Marie and Key, thank you so much for coming on tonight. This is so great. I'm going to keep doing past the mic. So I want y'all to be ready, okay? Because trust me, I will be in your inbox sooner or later asking you to come and be on Braid Talk Tuesday with me. And let's really just have, a conversation to help us honestly just elevate and keep elevating and really seeing all that God can do for us through our braid businesses. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to get ready to prepare for Bible study. And as always, guys, be blessed. And I look forward to talking to you in the next episode of Braid Talk Tuesday.